Music is a very integral part of any game you're playing, which is why I like to ignore all the hard work of the original composer and play my own music. Most of the time, it's an enjoyable juxtaposition, but sometimes it can enhance the gameplay in ways you did not expect. There's also this program called Incredibox that lets you make your own music by selecting certain beats, but to avoid the same 15 seconds of song on repeat, I have to stop playing the game, change the track, and continue playing. I'm gonna make a program to fix that. Specifically, I want to make a program that takes a screenshot of the game you're playing, sends it to an AI to see what kind of music is needed, then uses a selection of beats to make a unique track on loop. If you cut a beat in Incredibox just as the little timer reaches its original position, you get a slice of a beat that you can use to create every other, except if you look at the editing software, the beats don't actually match up. I've been starting it from the moment the timer starts. Instead, we should start that beat the moment the little menu for that beat comes up. That'll make sure that every beat remains consistent. Except if you look at the original clip we cut out and beat 1, they don't match up. That's because beat 1 is an MP3 and compression doesn't make the timing accurate. After all that junk, beat 1 can be used to cut everything else up with a length of 13.7 seconds. Except, no, I'm kidding. All the beats are good. Here's all of them. My previous projects had the user interact with the website. For this project, I want to have a separate app open up on your computer because to do that, we're going to use this framework called Electron, which will allow us to convert the 3 components of a website into a web app. To do that, we're going to need to install Node.js on my computer, which will allow me to run npm packages and use these pieces of code to create the necessary infrastructure. Congrats, you have a web app. Hey, now that you have a web app, what are you gonna do next? I'm glad you asked. See, audio is accessed by adding a new audio as an object. Each audio can be played, paused, or reset. An audio can also be set to loop automatically. Using audio event listeners, we can create something like this. Just press the button to play, and press it again. You know how music players work. I don't need to explain it. I'm gonna be honest. A majority of this interface was done by AI, including the ability to put an audio file and spit out a player of that. You can tell because of the emojis. If I want all the audio files to play in sync with one another, I need a way to have all the audio files wait until the ones playing finish. My first thought was to set up a timer that matches the audio length in milliseconds, which would keep track of when the audio ended. That idea didn't work, so I used a system where the first loop clicked is a beacon. When it finishes, everyone else can join in. Then add a bar to keep track of the beat and a button to stop everything, and Incredibox has officially been recreated. Ah, look at it. You know, the base game only lets you use 7 things at a time. I am curious what it sounds like with all 20. Now we're in completely uncharted waters here. We have to get a screenshot, send it to ChatGPT or some other LLM, get a response, and interpret it as a number of beats that need to be played every 13 seconds. Let's start with the screenshots first. I tried to use multiple different methods to take a screenshot with only JavaScript, but apparently having any random website take a screenshot whenever is a security violation, and consent is required every time a shot needs to be taken, which defeats the purpose of making this. So instead we'll be using Python to take a screenshot and store it as a file. We can do that by running these 2 lines. The first line gives JavaScript the path to run external files, and the second actually runs said file. So far, so good, let's continue. In the Python file, after importing this package, this snippet will take a screenshot and save it. This section will delete it after I'm done from... hold on, we need to import this also. Now we have a program that takes a screenshot. I know, very revolutionary. But now we're at the part where ChatGPT can be implemented. If you don't know, ChatGPT not only is a website, but it can also be used as an API to output things directly into your program. Just install API and insert this code, and now you've recreated every website's AI feature past 2022. Now, there are many different models we can choose from, but for our purposes, we're going to use GPT 4.1 Mini, which can look at images and generate text about them. Now, you might think we can just have the API read the screenshot from our folder, but remember, security violations. So we're gonna need to send it to the cloud before it can be analyzed. Yeah, I have in my thing, make sure it's sent as a file and not a link. Probably had a lot of trouble with that one. So I guess do that. Putting everything together, let's see if it works. Holy shit, it does. Old, eerie sense of reverence and tension. Yeah, I can read the context of a shot and generate music based on that. The next part of this is connecting it to actual beats. To do that, we'll use this code to get everything the Python program prints out. If the beats are in standard format, then the output can be cut up and turned into a list, which can then be played. The first step is describing each beat to the prompt that goes with the image. Okay, so beat 1, beat 1, what? It's like a punchy beat that is made up of steam noises with a slightly syncopated, is that correct? Yeah, it's syncopated thing. So, yeah, I think that's a app description of, do I have to describe all of these? Okay, so now that the program has an understanding of the beats it can use, let's run the program again and see what it spits out. Alright, beat 8, beat 6, and beat 4. Yeah, that works. It can correctly identify how certain beats relate to aspects of the screenshot given. And I guess with that, all the individual components of the program are finished. We just need to put them together. The first part of that is taking the output of the prompt and putting it in JavaScript. After some tweaking, I came up with this where I would take everything printed from Python and split it here. From there, a loop is used to trim these, leaving us with a list of all the beats. Now to actually play the beats, my first solution was to use the beacon to indicate any given thing that had run its course. However, that didn't work, so I used a silent WAV file that acts as a head loop no matter what is played. It required a lot of troubleshooting to get right and remove any indication that the head loop changed. But, you know, I got it working. Now that the beats play at the end of the loop, we're done, right? This is where the vibe code interface really came back to bite me. Because there were so many issues with timing, getting the beats in progress bar to line up. It was just, I don't know. This was also where ChatGPT was absolutely unhelpful. Most conversations between it went like this. Hey, I have this issue. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna redo this entire code base, because clearly you want something completely different. You can just change this value and it'll work fine. Did I ever tell you how smart you were? This is pretty much what AI programming is like. It can get you 65% of the way there, but if you ask it to do more, it'll just redo to 65%. You still have to know what's going on to get any program to the level you want it. But after getting through all that, the program should be ready to go. Just boot up and click any beat and... This has been a great learning experience in APIs, audio players, and etc. I can post a full clip of me going through the Lost Coast with this on if you're interested in that. As for the actual program, I don't know how legal or ethical it is to just use sounds in Incredibox and straight up another program, so I'll hold off on GitHub for a little while. Other than that, there's nothing else, so bye.